I have a sneaky suspicion that I've just been glutened. So I just got given some gluten-free cake by someone, and I felt like it was a trustworthy source. And it's been about 15 minutes since I ate it, and I'm starting to burp and I'm starting to bloat. And I thought, like, as gross as it is, I thought it would be kind of like a good opportunity to sort of share this absolutely amazing experience of eating gluten as a celiac. I've definitely already started getting a headache, which is annoying. So if you're new to celiac disease or have never heard of it or have a family member with it, it's a tricky autoimmune disorder that kind of presents very uniquely in everyone. There are obviously symptoms that are the same and most people get them, but there's also the way people react to when they accidentally eat gluten can vary so much. Some people get rashes. I don't. Usually for me, I'll bloat almost immediately, which is a good tell. And then I'll get a headache, a lot of burping, gas, and then I get quite tired. But unfortunately, I've still got work to do today, so I'll try and get through that as much as possible in the next hour, and then I guess I'll have a lie down. Brain fog has definitely started to set in. I have gotten up to put the washing away about 5 times. I've forgotten what I was doing. Finished work for the moment. I've got a freaking meeting at 10 p.m. tonight. That's on me. I got the times wrong between the UK and New Zealand. So I'm in the UK and I've got a meeting with someone back home. And I was like, put it at your 9 a.m. It'll be my 8 p.m. and that's absolutely fine. But it's not. It's my 10 p.m. So I'm starting to get really bad stomach cramps now. That's fun. So just gotta ride it out. Kind of feel like I want to vomit. Kind of just want to go to sleep. For my celiac friends out there, if you got glutened, would you guys take days off work? Would you call in sick? And do your bosses understand? I can imagine that being a little bit of a problem with employers, especially if you've got one that's not very understanding. But let me know. One of the annoying things about being glutened is it really, every time it just lessens your trust on other people's judgment of food even more. When you do have an allergy or when you do have celiac disease or an intolerance, it really, at the end of the day, it has to be up to you to make the judgments. And today's judgment was a bad one, so I don't feel angry at the person that gave me the cake. Like, to be honest, I think it was just cross-contamination. I don't think the cake was made with wheat flour. I think that I was just cross-contaminated because it may have been close to another cake, or maybe it was iced with the same icing as another cake. I'm not too sure. I do blame myself though, because I really shouldn't have taken anything that wasn't labelled or packaged. Oh well. So I'm gonna go sit in the toilet for about an hour. I've made it. It's 9:56. So I'm about to have my meeting in 4 minutes. I'm on my 3rd cup of green tea. Symptom update, definite farting. It's a safe place to talk about bowel movements on this channel. Feeling really nauseous and very headachy, and can't wait to go to bed, but gotta do some work. It's the next morning. Looking a bit rough. I always find that when the first night after you accidentally have gluten, you don't really have a good sleep. And I actually woke up feeling a lot worse today than I did yesterday. I've still got a headache. I hate going to sleep with a headache and waking up with a headache. It's like, what's the point in even having a sleep? For breakfast, I'm just having some apples and almond butter. just something plain, and the bloating hasn't gone away. Oh well. Only a couple more days and I'll be back to normal. Alright, time to work. Wish me luck. This video should be called What Not to Do When You've Been Glutened, because you shouldn't push yourself in exercise. But I do love karate, so it's hard for me to miss it. The worst part was that I just couldn't retain anything in my brain, so they'll often test us with like do a bunch of moves and you just have to like memory skills and stuff, and nothing. Anything that went in went straight back out. I don't know if this is a symptom, but I'm craving something sweet. I found the like smallest bit of ice cream. It's not even nice. I found better ice cream. It's so good. So today's day 4 since the glutening. I forgot to record anything yesterday, but the main points were that I have been getting a lot more sleep than usual. Usually I can't sleep more than 8 hours, like 8 hours on the dot I wake up, but the last 2 to 3 days, ever since I got gluten, I've been sleeping about 11 hours. Aside from that, I have, as is usually the case for when I get glutened, I have had a bit of diarrhea, and today on day 4, that's now becoming constipation. Oh, the charms. But once again, safe place to talk about bowel movements. Today I had another 10-11 hours sleep. Feeling a lot better today, don't have a headache, doing a lot of baking today. I'm making ginger crunch, and let me show you. I've made the first batch of toffee pop biscuits, which if you haven't heard of them, they're like, let me show you. So it's like a biscuit. It's a biscuit with like a chewy toffee caramel covered in chocolate, and they're a biscuit from New Zealand. I'm sure you can get similar ones elsewhere in the world though. So that's the first batch. By the time I put this up though, I should have a recipe video on how to make them, so you can check that out here. So back to being gluten, so what is it, day 4? Feel a lot more energetic today. So this is usually the case. I have pretty bad symptoms for 2 to 3 days, and then on the 4th day I feel a little bit better. What I'm expecting to carry on though is having constipation for another week and a half. So the only issue with that is that I did have another karate lesson last night. We were jumping up and down a lot, and I thought I was going to poop my pants. I honestly thought, this is it. At least it's on camera, like at least I'm not there in person. But yeah, I'll probably check in after a week now, because I don't think anything else is going to change, but I'll let you know. By the way, if you're watching this and am enjoying me talking about the gross symptoms that are celiac disease, please give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, turn on the notification bell. It would really mean a lot to me. Alright, I'll talk soon. It's now been 10 days since I've been gluten, and I'm completely back to normal. I'm just sitting here eating the last of my pastries from Manaju in London. This was the cinnamon swirl. It's really good. I had a special where you could like buy 5 for pretty much the price of 2.5. So I bought 5 and ate 5. One interesting symptom that I had that I wanted to point out, and I don't know if this is directly related to celiac disease, but I thought it would be worth noting, is that around day 3, 4 and 5 after being glutened, I got really sore joints. My knees were tired. It was like I had growing pains in my joints. Just to wrap up, the symptoms I had were, starting from the beginning, burping, bloating, fatigue, headaches, stomach cramps, irritability, but I think that's because of all of these things, constipation and diarrhea, nausea and joint pain. So let me know what happens to you when you eat gluten. I'm always interested to hear, because everyone reacts so differently. You could even be a silent celiac, or asymptomatic, which means you don't feel anything at all. And how is that? And does that make you stressed about when you're eating because you don't actually know when you've been glutened? and also tell me what you do to help with the symptoms. I hope it was interesting to see how a celiac reacts to gluten, but just know that this is not necessarily the only thing that happens when you eat gluten if you're a celiac. But yeah, stay groovy. I'll catch you soon.